સ્વાગતમ ગુજરાત રાજ્ય શિક્ષણ વિભાગ અને ઉચ્ચ શિક્ષણ કમિશનર શ્રીની કચેરીમાં આદરણીય નિયામક શ્રી પરમ શ્રદ્ધેય શ્રી પીબી પંડ્યા સર, કેસીજી સંલગ્ન જોડાયેલી કચેરીના प्रोफेसर श्री कार्तिक श्रीधरन जी, उनके सहयोगी श्री कुमार स्वामी जी और पूरे गुजरात से जुड़े हुए हमारे सरकारी अनुदानित और यूनिवर्सिटी के आचार्य श्री और उनके प्रतिनिधि के रूप जुड़े हुए GSIRF और NIRF ले सकेंगे। 31 तक NIRF का जो डेट था वो एक्सटेंड हो गया है। सबसे पहली बात ये है। दूसरी बात, अभी भी GSIRF की कई कॉलेजेस की लिंक भरने बाकी है। उनको ऐसा लगा होगा कि हमने फुलफिल कर दी है, लेकिन 100 से करीबन की बाकी है। कल एक 38 कॉलेजेस और यूनिवर्सिटीज की ऑनलाइन वीसी हमने पूर्ण की, संपन्न की, और जो थोड़े बहुत एकाध लास्ट मंथ में जितना हमने अपग्रेड किया है, जितना हमने इसमें अच्छा किया है और संख्या अगले साल के मुताबिक 555 हो गई है, तो उनके हिसाब से सर आज हमारे बीच उपस्थित है और आगे का मार्गदर्शन सर करेंगे। तो मैं आदरणीय पंड्या सर को विनती करता हूं कि इसी समय हमारे साथ जुड़ी आईकेयर के कार्तिक जी है, कुमार जी है, पूरे राज्य से जुड़े हुए यूनिवर्सिटीज के कोऑर्डिनेटर श्री हैं, आचार्य श्री हैं गवर्नमेंट कॉलेजेस के, और उनके प्रतिनिधि रूप कोऑर्डिनेटर है, तो सबको सर मार्गदर्शित करें। तो सर को विनती है कि आपका मार्गदर्शन अब शुरू करें।
એટલે મહેશભાઈ, આપણે ટોટલ કેટલા આજે કોણ યુનિવર્સિટી અને કોલેજીસ કેટલી જોડાયેલી છે આપણી?
522 સર।
આજે?
આજે હા, બધી જ આખું રાજ્ય।
અચ્છા,
હા।
અને એમાંથી NIRF માં આપણે એપ્લાય કરાવવાનું છે?
હા સર, બધાએ તમામે તમામ આપણા આ વીસી ની ઓનલાઈન વર્કશોપની પ્રતીક્ષા કરતા હતા કે આપણે આપણી આઈકેર એજન્સી દ્વારા કાર્તિકજી અને કુમારજી દ્વારા માર્ગદર્શન થઈ જાય, ત્યાર પછી તે લોકો NIRF માં આમ તો આવતીકાલે 5 વાગ્યા સુધીની જ ડેટ હતી, પણ હવે એ આપણા સદભાગ્યે 31 જાન્યુઆરી સુધી એક્સટેન્ડ થઈ છે, એટલે વધારે અપડેટ થવાનો આપણને સમય પણ મળશે અને સારી રીતે આપણે NIRF માં આપણે આપણા ડેટા ફૂલફિલ કરી શકીશું। તો અત્યારે તમામે તમામ કોલેજ 522 ઉપસ્થિત છે। આપણી પાસે અત્યારે 184 તો હાજર છે।
યુનિવર્સિટી છે કોઈ?
हाँ सर, यूनिवर्सिटी पण छे।
ओके कार्तिक जी, मैंने वो GU के वाइस चांसलर से भी अभी बात किया है। उनके यहाँ वो कल प्रेसिडेंट वाइस प्रेसिडेंट आ रहे हैं, इसलिए वो कॉन्वोकेशन में बिजी है। फिर भी मैंने उनको रिक्वेस्ट करके बताया है कि भाई हमारा जो ये NAC और NIRF का सेल है उनके ऑफिसर्स को आप कनेक्ट करवाइए। तो उन्होंने मुझे बोला है कि आप मुझे लिंक भेजिए, तो मैं उनको इंस्ट्रक्शन देके ज्वाइन करवा देती हूँ। तो मैंने उनको लिंक भी भेज दी है। तो आई होप GU विल ऑल्सो ज्वाइन द गूगल मीट सून। सेकंड थिंग, जो आप लोग सब गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी, ये जितनी भी कॉलेजेस, गवर्नमेंट कॉलेजेस और ग्रांटीनेट कॉलेजेस अभी हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, आप सब जानते हो कि हम लोगों ने पहले GSIRF रैंकिंग में कैसे पार्टिसिपेट करना है, इसका हमने फिजिकल वर्कशॉप किया था। उसके बाद हमने ये अभी को पूरी तरह गाइडेंस दे के हमने उसको GSIRF फॉर्म्स भरवाए थे। अब उनका रिजल्ट भी तैयार हो गया है और वो हमारे आईकेयर के कार्तिक जी है, वो आपको बताएंगे। लेकिन मेरा ये आप सबको अनुरोध है कि जितनी भी वो सभी को अभी हमारे लिए उसका एप्लीकेशन का डेट भी 31 जनवरी तक बढ़ गया है, तो सभी कॉलेजेस को NIRF रैंकिंग में एप्लीकेशन करना मैंडेटरी है। कोई भी कॉलेजेस NIRF में अप्लाई ना करे, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। जो भी आपको इम्प्रूवमेंट करना है, जो उसमें चेंजेस करना है, वो सब आपको यहाँ बताया जाएगा। मुझे पता है इसके पहले इतना माइक्रो फॉलोअप और इतना माइक्रो गाइडेंस कभी भी हायर एजुकेशन में किसी भी कॉलेज को नहीं दिया गया है। तो ये इस बार पहली बार हम ये सब कर रहे हैं, तो आपको भी ये पता या इसका इम्पोर्टेंस रहना चाहिए। हमारे जो मंत्री साहब ऋषिकेश भाई पटेल साहब, हमारे अग्र सचिव सर, ये सब मुकेश कुमार सर, ये सब इसका कंटिन्यूअस फॉलोअप कर रहे हैं। और ये उनका मैंडेट है कि इस बार हमारी सभी कॉलेजेस को NIRF रैंकिंग और NAC एक्रीडिटेशन में जाना है, और दोनों में ऐसी कोशिश करनी है कि अच्छा रैंक मिले। अगर फर्स्ट टाइम आप पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हो तो आप ऐसा टारगेट रख सकते हो कि हम लोग फर्स्ट 200 में आएंगे, 300 में आएंगे। ऐसा नहीं है कि हम पहले ही ट्राई में फर्स्ट 100 में आ जाए। लेकिन इस बार आप अगर फर्स्ट 300 में भी आओगे तो नेक्स्ट ईयर आप उसको इम्प्रूव करके फर्स्ट 200 में या फर्स्ट 100 में आने की कोशिश कर सकते हो। लेकिन हमारा टारगेट ये होना चाहिए कि वी विल कम इन फर्स्ट 100। तो ही हम हमारा लक्ष्य तो हमें नीचा रखना ही नहीं है। ये बोल रहा हूँ तो आप लोगों को ऐसा नहीं सोचना है कि हम तो 450 नंबर पे आएंगे, कोई इश्यू नहीं है, सर ने बताया है। सभी के लिए मैंडेट यही है कि सभी कॉलेजेस को फर्स्ट 100 में आना है, और उसके लिए ये सब हायर एजुकेशन की ओर से जो भी एफर्ट्स किए जा रहे हैं वो सब आप लोगों को फॉलो करने हैं, और अपना जो भी इम्प्रूवमेंट है वो सब करके सभी कॉलेजेस को, भले ही 31 का लास्ट डेट हो, लेकिन हम आप सबको 25 जनवरी तक NIRF में ये एप्लीकेशन करना है। इसके लिए हायर एजुकेशन में एक पूरा सेल महेश भाई और उनकी टीम और वाछाणी भाई ये सब इसका कंटिन्यूअस फॉलोअप कर रहे हैं। जो भी डिफिकल्टी हो, जो भी डाउट हो, तो आप कभी भी उनको पूछ सकते हो, मुझे भी पूछ सकते हो, यू पटेल साहब को भी पूछ सकते हो। लेकिन किसी भी कीमत पे हमें अच्छे रैंक NIRF में लेने हैं। ये मेरा और आप सबका, सभी का जो डेस्टिनेशन है, जो निर्णय है, वो दोनों का एक रहना चाहिए, और इसके लिए हम दोनों को संयुक्त प्रयास करने हैं। बस यही कह के मैं बाकी कंटिन्यूअस करने के लिए कार्तिक सर को बोलूंगा, जो भी उनका सजेशंस हो, जो भी हो, वो कॉलेजेस नोट कर ले और वो चेंज और वो इम्प्रूवमेंट करके NIRF में अप्लाई करे। यही आपसे अपेक्षा है। थैंक यू
जी। धन्यवाद सर, આપના માર્ગદર્શનથી અમે સૌ અભિવાંચિત છીએ। अब मैं कल की तरह कार्तिक जी को अपनी PPT या तो अपनी जो प्रारंभिक प्रास्ताविक इंट्रोडक्शन बात करनी है कि किस प्रकार हम NIRF में पहले तो जुड़ जाए, हम कहाँ पर अभी GSIRF में है और कैसे उसमें प्रवेश करके अच्छे से अच्छे पायदान पर पहुंचे। इसके लिए आपको विनती करता हूं कि आप आपकी बात करें, फिर बाद में कुमार जी को विस्तार से सुनेंगे। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार, सर का आभार, और कार्तिक जी को प्रार्थना कि आप अपना व्याख्यान शुरू करें।
नमस्कार। Thank you very, very much, Professor Dr. Mahesh Patel ji. Of course, we have to begin by thanking Professor Pandya IAS ji, जो आज हमारे बीच में जुड़े हैं, who has given a very, very inspiring and a very moving first session in the morning in helping us all appreciate the importance of rankings, accreditation, improving quality in higher education. And I must put on record our deepest appreciation to the Department of Education, Government of Gujarat, because having worked with so many state governments all across the country, Gujarat is currently the only government, and the Department of Higher Education in Gujarat is the only department which is organizing such sessions for the benefit of all the institutions, so that more and more institutions in the state can improve their quality, improve their knowledge on the basis of NIRF and NAC, develop a very strong understanding, and help create a movement of quality improvement within the state. A very, very warm welcome to all our colleagues I see today we have close to about 250 odd participants in this particular session, which is very, very encouraging, particularly because we are just about a few weeks away. If it was yesterday, we had one session yesterday, and the deadline was 19th January, 5 p.m. until yesterday. Fortunately, today, the attendees who are all present here, a little over 250 of you, will be happy to know that the deadline for submission of data to the National Institutional Ranking Framework 2023-24 has been extended to the end of January. So we all have a bit of time to prepare ourselves to properly collate, collect, and assimilate the data, do a proper benchmarking, and analyze what kind of data we would like to submit as institutions. So what is the purpose of today's session? The purpose of today's session is to help you all not just appreciate the importance of NIRF, not just for you to participate, register, participate, and provide your data to NIRF, but more importantly, my colleagues in the session will take you through what are the benchmarks of those institutions who are present in the top 100 of the National Institutional Ranking Framework. फ्रेंड्स, बहुत बार ऐसे हो जाता है कि हमने इस रैंकिंग में अप्लाई किया हो और कहीं हमारा एक रैंक नहीं आया हो इन द पास्ट. कुछ इंस्टीट्यूशंस के रैंक आए होंगे, बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस के रैंक नहीं आए होंगे. ऐसे सिचुएशन में आपको पता नहीं चलता है कि हमारी अप्रोक्सीमेट पोजीशन क्या है और हमें आगे बढ़ने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए. तो इसी कारण iCare गवर्नमेंट ऑफ गुजरात के साथ जुड़ी हुई है. हम आपको इस सेशन में आज ये बताने के लिए आए हैं कि डेटा किस तरीके से आपको सबमिट करना है, उस पैरामीटर्स के डेफिनेशन क्या है. अगर आपकी कोई क्वेरीज हैं, आप हमें इस पर्टिकुलर सेशन में पूछ सकते हैं. और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट ये आपके साथ इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर किया जाएगा कि हर एक पैरामीटर में उसके जुड़े इंडिकेटर में द टॉप स्कोर, उसका डेटा कैसे दिखता है. 0 to 25, 1 to 25 रैंक के भीतर में अगर जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं उनकी डेटा कैसी हैं, 25 to 50, 50 to 75 एंड 75 to 100. ये इंस्टीट्यूशंस के फैकल्टी स्टूडेंट रेशियोज क्या हैं, उनकी डेटा कैसी दिखती हैं, ताकि आप अपने डेटा को फिर उस हिसाब से प्लान कर पाएं, आप उस हिसाब से होमवर्क कर पाएं. फ्रेंड्स, rankings and accreditation, as we all know, are extremely vital for evaluating the quality of higher education institutions and colleges and universities across the country. The Ministry of Education has taken the commendable step of initiating the National Institutional Ranking Framework in 2015. All of you will be very, very happy to know that sometime in 2014, iCare, led by its governing board chairman, Mr. Mohandas Pai, was invited by the Prime Minister's office to understand what Honorable Prime Minister should do, what steps Honorable Prime Minister should take in 2014 onwards to help position India as one of the world's most important destinations for higher education. The National Institutional Ranking Framework was a recommendation by iCare to Honorable Prime Minister in 2014. Thereafter, Government of India, the Ministry of Education, set up a committee to create the framework for the first National Institutional Ranking Framework that was created in 2015 and first initiated in 2016. These rankings are very multi-dimensional in nature, and they clearly capture quality and excellence across higher education institutions in India on a variety of domains. These rankings not just look at institutions as a whole, but they also look at specialist institutions, they look at colleges, they look at departments, and they look at subjects on a variety of parameters. Now, there is this common dialogue and debate across the country. Why should different kind of institutions be compared to one another? Why should institutions be ranked at all? Friends, as we all know, that for students, the single most important decision of their life is of a career. India today has a little over 1,100 universities, 45,000 odd colleges, and a little more than 6,500 standalone institutions. The GER of our nation on average is less than about 27%, which means a huge part of our population is still not into formal education. Now, if these students have to get into formal education, they all need to know which institutions are the kind of institutions that I should go and study in. Which university is good at engineering, which university is good at mechanical engineering, and which university is good at chemical engineering. How do you really differentiate that information and provide it to student in a manner in which the consumer or the stakeholder can really take that information, digest that information? That is one particular aspect of the rankings. The second most important aspect of any country is the country's reputation is also known by the higher education institutions within that country. Today, many of us aspire to either go to or partner with the likes of Cambridge, Oxford, Stanford, Wharton, Yale, etc. Why? Because they are all Ivy League institutions that feature amongst the top in the world. We as a nation, if we have to become a vibrant country, a powerful country, knowledge ecosystem needs to be developed and universities really need to be positioned on the top. And rankings are only one form of providing that information to the world to help them appreciate and understand the strength of the education system of a country. The introduction, and in this particular direction, NIRF has been constantly improving and improvising its own ranking system, and year after year, making new additions, new improvements, and new innovations to its own ranking system. The introduction of a new subject, namely agriculture and allied sectors, which was one addition which was done very recently in the NIRF rankings. The integration of the innovation ranking, as you all know, initially we used to have something called as the Atal ranking of institutions on innovation and achievements. This particular ARIIA is now included into the NIRF rankings itself under a bucket called innovation. Why was this done? So that institutions need not provide the same data to two different government entities. The expansion of scope of architecture to architecture and planning to include institutions that are imparting courses in urban and town planning. As we all know, urban and town planning is globally a very, very important subject. With the growing infrastructure in India and the growing importance of smart city kind of projects, architecture is no longer the old subject that it remains to be. Town planning and city planning and urban planning are all part of architecture today. Thus, the existing portfolio of India rankings under the NIRF the entire portfolio of India rankings has now increased to 13 categories, and each of the institutions are encouraged to take part in one or more categories of your choice. ये बिल्कुल जरूरी नहीं है कि आप 13 की 13 कैटेगरी के रैंकिंग में जाके पार्ट लीजिए, बिल्कुल जरूरी नहीं है, बट इसके अंदर आप सिलेक्ट कीजिए ऐसी कौन सी रैंकिंग सिस्टम्स हैं जो हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस को बेटर प्रेजेंट करने में कामयाब रहेगी. सिर्फ उस डेटा को लीजिए और उस रैंकिंग्स में थोड़ा अपने आप को और स्ट्रांगली पोजीशन कीजिए. 13 रैंकिंग की डेटा आप देने जाएंगे तो उतना ज्यादा एफर्ट लगेगा, उतना ज्यादा टाइम लगेगा, और हो सकता है किसी किसी रैंकिंग सिस्टम में आपकी स्ट्रेंथ नहीं हो. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू टू आइडेंटिफाई which are those areas and which our core strength is, and we participate in those rankings first and try to improvise on the others later. My colleague Dr. Kumaraswamy will present in a few minutes from now the benchmarks of the institutions who have performed well over a period of time. पिछले 8 साल के rankings on an all India basis हमने उसकी analysis की है, and we will present to you the data for you to understand how far are we from those institutions. अगर हमें top 100 में आना है तो हर पैरामीटर में हमारी डेटा कैसी दिखनी चाहिए. As you all know, NIRF has got 5 broad parameters: teaching, learning and resources, also known as TLR. RPC is research and professional practices. Graduation outcomes is GO. Outreach and inclusivity is OI. And perception, which continues to be a black box. हर institution की एक कमी रह जाती है और उसमें बहुत सारे सवाल आते हैं कि ये परसेप्शन को एस्टिमेट कैसे किया जाता है, कैलकुलेट कैसे किया जाता है, और हर साल दर साल हमें ये परसेप्शन पे स्कोर कम आता है. इसका क्या कारण है, इसके कुछ सवाल हम आपसे लेंगे. फाइनली फ्रेंड्स, as I conclude, I would like to record our sincere appreciation to Sri P.B. Pandya IAS, Professor A.U. Patel, Professor Mahesh G, and several other colleagues from the Department of Education and KCG for initiating a path-breaking NIRF handholding assistance workshop in the state of Gujarat, which is poised to bring about a paradigm shift by equipping institutions with the required knowledge and support, providing the right competencies and capabilities, and creating an enabling and an invigorated, a very energized higher education system, an ecosystem in the state of Gujarat, where every institution is poised for going to greater glory because of their participation in exercise such as these. And we, the officially appointed organization and agency by the government of Gujarat, the Indian Center for Academic Rankings and Excellence, ICARE, are ever willing and always ready on a 24/7 basis to support one such vision, which will help push more and more institutions from Gujarat in the top 100 of NIRF, and thus help shape a new and a vibrant Gujarat, a Garvi Gujarat, and a more powerful India. Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, a very, very warm welcome to this session today. All of you are investing your time and energy. We hope to have many more queries from you by which all your doubts can be solved, and each one of us will have a very, very successful national institutional ranking framework ranking in 2024-25. Over to you, Dr. Kumaraswamy. I would now request you to start your presentation.
Thank you to Mahesh Patel sir, A.U. Patel sir, Pandya sir. Today, let me quickly share my screen and then. I hope you can see my screen, sir.
Yes, Kumar.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So today I'm going to present some hardcore numbers, some statistical data that what every institution should aspire for while they aspire to be ranked in top 100 NIRF rankings. And these numbers are hardbound numbers. I mean, there is no negotiation of these numbers. More or less, these numbers are going to remain constant for irrespective of the type of institution, whether you want to feature in a university or college ranking. Okay. Let me quickly run you through the university first, and then probably I can run you through the college numbers first. First is the university. So I've again broken down this into 4 categories. One is rank NIRF rank 1 to 25, then rank number 25 to 50, then again 50 to 75, and 75 to 100. So these hardbound numbers is what I'm looking at. Okay. Now, if any university or if any university wants to be in rank 1 to 25, ideally I would look at least a total student enrollment of 12,700 is what I'm looking at. Okay. Likewise, if the institution wants to be in the 25 to 50 rank of the NRF, we should have total student strength of close to around 10,700 is what we're looking at. Likewise, even for 50 to 75 and 75 to 100, we need to have at least 6,500 students. So the minimum benchmark numbers, if you are a university and if you are looking to participate in the, if you are willing or if you are aspiring to get a rank in NIRF top 100, you need to get, you need to have at least student strength of at least 6,000 is what you need to do there. So that's the minimal number. Likewise, in the intake too, if you see the intake numbers of the total student enrolled, you need to have at least 90% students enrolled compared to your intake. So you cannot have more than a 95% difference between your intake and the total student enrolled. So if you see institutions of 1 to 25, which is basically the average intake is around 12,943, while the total students enrolled are 12,733. The percentage of students enrolled is around 105. Okay, that's the number is what I am looking at. So likewise, if you see the total number of same with the rank of 25 to 50, if you see the sanctioned intakes, they have a sanctioned intake of 11,000, and the total students are roughly around 50% enrollment numbers. So if you are an institution who is looking, you need to have at least 1,000 students, and your percentage of enrollment of the students compared to your intake should not be less than 93-94%. So you need to have this ratio maintained. If you are not maintaining this ratio, it is going to be extremely difficult to get into top 100. The list is very competitive. It's not easy to aspire for that. Likewise, if you are looking at doctoral students, if you are a university and if you are looking at close to 1:25, you need to have close to 2,400 doctoral students, and if you are at least in top 100 university you are looking at, you need to have at least 600 doctoral students enrolled at any given point of time in the university is what you're looking at. So this is just a quick overview of how the student strength should be is along with PhD students. Likewise, if you look at the numbers are very, very similar. You need to have at least 3,600 students and above. Okay, so if not, it's extremely difficult to feature in the college ranking. In the college category 2, the percentage of students enrolled is no lesser. At least universities you would have some lenience. In the percentage of student enrolled. However, in the college category 2, you will not have any lenience in percentage of students enrolled. Most of the student colleges do have around 100 close to 100% enrollment of students. If you are a college who are looking at aspiring to be in top 100, you need to have at least 93-94% the total students enrolled. So that's the number. You cannot have too much difference between your intake and the total number of students enrolled at the university. You have to match at least 90% student enrolled. Okay. The next one will be is basically your faculty student ratio. If you are a university, irrespective of rank you are looking at, the minimal number of faculty student ratio you are looking is basically 1:15. So anything beyond 1:16, it's extremely difficult. To mind you, the faculty student ratio is not calculated based on the actual students. It is calculated based on the intake. So if your intake number is more than the total students numbers, the intake numbers will get added along with your PhD students. While if your actual students are more than your intake, then only the actual student number will be taken into consideration for the faculty student ratio. So a minimum faculty student ratio of 1:15 is mandatory if you are looking at top 100, and at least 70% faculty with PhD if you are a university who is looking at top 100. So if you see 1:25, they have around 80%, and 25 to 50 they have around 78%. 50 to 75 is around 84%, and 75 to 100 is around 61%. And the next one is basically faculty with experience. If you are looking at faculty with 8 to 15 years and 15 years of experience, universities do have this good ratio of 30:30:40. The average ratio will remain as it is, 30:30:40. If you divert from this ratio, it is going to be extremely difficult. You are going to only get score in one area or not in two areas. So if you are looking at top 100, you need to maintain this ratio of 30:30:40 is what if you are a university. Likewise, in college, the ratio is a little lenient compared to the universities. When universities had a ratio of 1:15, colleges do have a ratio of 1:20:21. Okay, so if you are a college, if you are looking to be in top 100 of the NIRF rankings, you need to have intake. Based on your intake, you need to have a ratio of 1:20. Again, if students are more than the intake, then you again need to have it based on the actual students is what you need to have there. Faculty with PhD, again a little lenient over there. You need to have at least 55% faculty with PhD. The ratio is very similar. 32:35 is what the ratio looks at for the colleges. So these numbers are hard bound. There cannot be negotiation in these numbers. This has remained constant over years. There will be plus or minus 1% change. Maybe faculty with PhD numbers are going to go higher, but not going to come any lesser for sure. Faculty student ratio again will not go beyond. It will not become 1:25. It will not become 1:30. If you are looking at a faculty student ratio, the chances of it becoming 1:18 is way higher than it's becoming 1:25. So if we are looking to cross these numbers, minimal, otherwise it's extremely hard to feature in top 100 in IRF. Again, if you look at the financial resources spent, if you look at top 1 to 25 universities, they spend around 2,83,000 rupees per student per year on the capex, which is basically building of infrastructure, again interiors, establishing a classrooms, installing smart projectors, etc. Yes sir. Yes sir.
स्क्रीन चेंज नहीं हो रही है और मेरे पर एक दो मैसेज आए हैं कि थोड़ा स्लोली चलना चाहिए.
Okay sir, okay. Let me share my screen again.
प्लीज.
सर अब दिख रहा है सर स्क्रीन मेरा?
हाँ अब दिख रहा है. प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
Okay. So I think as I said, these were the numbers for the colleges. Those who are not able to see my screen, so minimum numbers should be around. These were the university numbers. 12,000 intake with around with the actual number of students around 6,500. You need to have at least 80% enrollment, 90% enrollment. For the colleges too, you need to have minimal number of students is going to be at least 3,600 students and around 92-93% enrollment. There cannot be too much difference between both. Faculty student ratio, as I said, minimal ratio for universities is 1:15. PhD 2 is around 70%. This ratio has to be 30 and 40. For the colleges too, the minimal numbers will be 1:21, while the PhD numbers will be around 55-56%, and this ratio is again going to be constant. Okay, I'll go slow from here. Yes sir.
Slow. The speed at which you are, you have to reach it by at least 80%.
Okay. For the financial resources at the universities, the capex and opex numbers largely remain around 2,83,000 per student per year for a university. If any university is going to invest on a student infrastructure, it has to be close to around 2,83,000 if you're looking at 1:25 rank. While if you're looking at 25:50 rank, you have to invest at least 1,61,000 rupees per student per year. If you're looking at a rank of 1:50 to 100, you have to invest at least 65,000 per student per year. So if you are investing, if your total number of students are 1,000, so this number will get multiplied into 1,000 into 3. That is the average amount which you will be spending for 3 years for capex. If you look at OPEX, if any university, again the running expenditure, day-to-day expenditure, the top 1 to 25 universities spend around 10 lakh per student, 11 lakh, close to 11 lakh per student is what they spend, while the 25 to 50 ones are spending close to 6 lakhs. And the minimal average spending which you have to do as a university if you want to feature in top 100 NIRF is basically around 1:around 5.5 lakhs. At least 5 lakhs is what you need to spend if you are looking at institutions who are looking there. Okay. Can you see my screen now too, sir? The college slide, I hope it has changed.
It has changed to college financial resources and the utilization.
Yes, perfect.
Kumar,
so the colleges too.
Kumar, I would request you in every parameter, Kumar. Give us the definition. Give us the examples. For example, in CAPEX, what is included? Give us some examples. In OPEX, what is included?
Yeah. Okay, fine. So as I said, CAPEX doesn't includes all the infrastructure part. Where it is institution invests something on building up of classroom, building up of a studio, building up of a seminar hall, building up of a library space. Okay, so the academic infrastructure, which is the amount spent on building up of the academic infrastructure for a classroom, for a seminar hall, for a discussion room, for a student common room, for a library, will all go as capex. Okay, these can be simple things like purchasing of tables, chairs, to installing of projectors, etc. in capex. Okay, however, in OPEX, OPEX is nothing but running expenditure, includes salaries for teaching and non-teaching staff. It includes your annual maintenance charges for looking after certain instruments. Okay, it looks after the subscription for library books, while the capex will take over the library interiors and installment of racks, etc. Purchasing of books will go under OPEX. So these are some indicators under OPEX. So the capex for colleges is quite low. Per student, each college should spend around 3,800 rupees per student per year. So on average, you will be spending around close to 9,000 rupees per student for 3 years. You will be spending. On an OPEX, every college has to spend close to around 70,000 rupees per student per year. So whatever student numbers are, this has to get multiplied into total number of student. If the total number of student is 100, 70,000 into 100 into 3 will be your amount which is spent on OPEX. That has to be the minimal number. Otherwise, it's very, very hard to make it into the top 100 of the college. So these are two numbers. Universities, again, as I said, the spending is roughly around 86,000 on capex, and the OPEX you need to spend around 5.5 lakhs per student per year. While the colleges, you need to spend around 4,000 rupees for capex and at least 70,000 rupees as OPEX. 70,000 into number of student per student per year. So I think these two, I think I'm quite clear on this. Okay. Next one is patent granted and patent published. I think these two are very, very simple. Patent granted, the least looking at is 20. You need to have at least 20 patent granted in last 3 years. Okay, that is what NRF looks at too. Patent published in last 3 years, you need to have at least 40 patents published. So again, if the institution is in top 1 to, if you are aspiring to be in top 1 to 50, you need to do at least close to 40-50 patents and publish around close to 100 patents. So these are extensive universities which are in engineering and technology based institutions which are there. In top 1 to 50, we have most of the NITs, IITs is there. So it's extremely competitive in 1:50 for a university. So you need to have at least 40 patents granted and around 100 published. Otherwise, it's extremely difficult to make it into top 50. 50 and beyond, you need to do at least 20 granted patents and publish around 30-35 patents you need to publish. Colleges thankfully doesn't have this publication patents as part of there. They only look at research papers. Research papers too, the criteria from universities and colleges do vary a little. In universities, you need to have at least 3 papers per faculty for 3 years. That means 1 paper per faculty. If you have 100 faculty members at a college, university, you need to have at least 300 papers. So every faculty member has to publish at least 1 paper every year. That is what NIRF looks at. If you are a college, you need to have at least 100 faculty members. You need to have 100 papers for 3 years. So every faculty member should publish at least 1 paper in 3 years is what the college mandate is. So whatever is the total number of faculty members at your college, at least that number of publications has to be there in the 3 years is what NIRF looks at. Again, without that numbers, it's going to be a little difficult to make it into top 100. The graduate outcomes for a university is quite simple. You need to have at least 80% graduates. Again, to mind you, graduation rate is not calculated based on the total number of students who enrolled for the program. It is going to be based on the intake. If the intake is more, your intake numbers, based on your intake numbers, how many students graduated is what we'll be looking at. If your students who are more, if the students are more than the intake, then those students who are more than the intake plus the students who are admitted to lateral entry, we will add both and then we will calculate the passing percentage. If the intake and the lateral entry cross more than the, if the actual students and the intake cross more than the intake numbers. If not, we will go by the intake. The intake students plus the students admitted on a lateral entry will divided by the total number of students who passed out. So for universities, this has to be minimum 80%. Otherwise, you are not going to get any score in this. Graduation, PhD graduates too, you need to have at least 88 PhD graduates per year. Again, this number is very, very high. If you are looking at top 50, around 100 graduate PhD students have to get graduated every year is what we are looking there for the university. College too, I think this is a wide range, since they don't push for like universities, they don't push for PhD students. If you are a college, you need to have at least 20% students going for employment. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to make it into 100. Higher education too, you need to have at least 40% students going for higher education. So the both combined, at least you need to show close to around 60 to 80%. Anything lower than that is hard. So at least 40 to 50% students for higher education, and for employment you need to have at least 20 to 32% students for employment as a college. The passing percentage of colleges is way higher than the universities. Universities was like 80, colleges it's around 90%. So you need to have minimum graduation rate of 90%. The colleges which are there in top 25 are one of the premier colleges of the country, Miranda House, Lady Gsirf College. So these are very highly competitive colleges. So you need to have a minimum graduation rate of at least 90% and above. Likewise, if you look at the median salary too, in median salary, you need to have the average salary of your student should be at least 3 lakhs. If it is below 3 lakhs, the most common average median salary will be around 2.5 lakhs and 2 lakhs. Again, this is the most common number across the country. This will not give you more points. It is suggested that you have at least a median salary of 3 lakhs and above. This year NIRF, a lot of institutions are participating. You need to have at least a median salary of 3.5 lakhs. The median salary will go up. It is suggested that if your median salary is around 3.5 lakhs, it will be very helpful for the college. So if you have left out any student who has got an offer, if you have left out his median salary numbers, you can relook at these numbers. Employment too, one student number will be very critical. Even 1% increase will make a major difference. So please make sure these numbers are up to date, and you rethink these numbers before submitting to NIRF. In outreach and inclusivity, you need to have at least that 40% women students for universities. Again, in the top 25, most of the institutions there are STEM institutions, IITs, NITs. Hence, the women student ratio is a little less there, around 30. But if you see the lower band of 75 to 100 in the university category, they have close to 50% women students. So NIRF mandates that you need to have at least 50% women students. So that is something which you need to take care of while entering these numbers. Again, minimum 30% women faculty in senior positions at the university. Senior positions, I mean to say HODs, deans, principals, chancellors, vice chancellors, pro-chancellors. So these are the positions which I am looking at. Director of IQAC, Director of Student Welfare, Director of Placements. Most of the women faculty, at least 30% women faculty should be there in leadership positions. So that's at least 30% there is what I am looking at. And the institution should provide at least 20% scholarship to its own students, okay, from the institution funds, not from the government, not from the donor funds. It has to be at least 20% full scholarship. Students should get full scholarship from the institution funds. That is the average numbers which we are looking at in the university. The colleges too, I think the women student numbers are very high. Universities it was a much lesser. Universities it was around as I said, around 47-48%. For colleges, I think there is no room for negotiation. It is minimum 50%. So if you see all the colleges in top 100, they have more than 50% women students there. Okay, women faculty too, most of them have close to 60% women faculty. NIRF mandates at least 30, so you need to have that numbers. Colleges also do provide a higher percentage of scholarship. They provide close to 15% students. Full scholarship is being given from the colleges end. Okay, so that's the minimal number is what we are looking.
Dr. Kumar Swami, you've gone on mute.
Yeah, sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, now yes. The presentation is not seen.
Sir, I stopped the presentation. Where did you last hear me, sir?
नहीं, वो 50% कॉलेजेस को किया जाए वो स्लाइड थी.
1 second, sir.
Outreach and inclusivity.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm sharing it, sir. I'm sharing it. Yeah. So as I said, at least 50% women students is mandatory for colleges to have. Likewise, most of the women faculty at these colleges have around 60% women faculty they have, and at least 15% scholarship has to be given from the institution funds. So this is something which the college should be clear about. At least 50% women students, at least 30% women faculty in leadership positions. Again, I'm stressing leadership position can be dean, directors, HOD, IQSC directors, student welfare directors, principals, vice chancellors. In case of universities, colleges, it will be principals, chancellors, pro chancellors. So these are the positions, vice chancellors. These are the positions we are looking at leadership position, and students at least 15% students, irrespective of the socio-economic class, institution should provide at least 15% students with full scholarship is what we are looking there, and this has to be from the institution funds is what I'm looking there. Okay. I'll quickly stop my screen sharing and then I'll show all the slides which I've explained with an example. Let me quickly reshare my screen too. Okay. So this is the sample data which I'll be showing. Okay, this is just an example data. Okay. Now, if you look at the institution numbers, okay, as I said in my first slide, I talked about is basically the intake. Okay. Now, if I'm looking at the intake, I'm just going to add the intake. Okay, and I'm going to do the intake sum. Okay. So this rough data which I'm showing has an intake of around 33,000 students. So the intake of the institution is around 31,000. So all the intake combined together is around 31,000. Well, I'm looking at the actual number of students at the institution again here. Okay. So I'll be looking at the total number of students at the institution. Okay. Now the total number of institution is around 28,000. So check. I am there. I have cleared the benchmark of 6,000. First check is done. Okay. Now the second check, what I'm trying to do is basically see if my percentage enrollment is beyond 95%. Okay. Now I quickly do this check of seeing how many students have admitted compared to my intake. It's around 91%. So I am marginally losing out here. Okay. So I cannot afford to lose out here. It has to be more than, as I said, it has to be more than 95% in the universities, and it has to be more than 93% in the colleges. So make sure that you recheck these numbers again if any student, and there has been some difference between intake. Okay, so this percentage of difference between intake to the students enrolled has to be more than 95 in universities and 92 maybe in colleges. Okay. Now the third check which I was looking at is basically the total number of PhD students. Okay, and now here I have around total number of PhD students is around 1,000. Okay, 1,014 PhD students. I'm gonna write it down here. 1,014 PhD students. So again, it qualifies my minimum benchmark of 100. So I'm good with that too. Colleges too. If I'm looking at, I don't have PhD students, so it qualifies my benchmark too. Okay. Now faculty student ratio. Now in this case, I'm gonna quickly show here my intake numbers are more. Okay. Now I'm gonna take my intake numbers plus my PhD student numbers. Okay. PhD there is no intake, hence I'm adding them directly. So my intake is more than the total students. So my intake numbers plus the total number of PhD students, and am I dividing it by the total number of faculty members at the institution. Okay. Now with this, my faculty student ratio is 1:16, which is marginally past the margin. Okay. So you need to make sure that this number crosses at least 1:16 ratio. Okay. And these things are very straightforward. Faculty with PhD and faculty with experience. Okay. I'm going to quickly run into capex and opex and then show it to you. Okay. Now my capex numbers, which basically, as I said, three heads we have under capex, which is basically equipment, then you spent on your engineering workshop, then you have your capital assets, just basically installation of some building up of a classroom, building up of a seminar, or building up of a library, etc., etc. So if I'm going to add this three, sum of all these three, okay, I'm going to do that, and then I'll show it to you what happens. So this is my spending for all the 3 years. Okay, I'm going to make it large so that it's visible to everyone. Okay, so this is my numbers which I'm spending. Okay, these are the 3 years. Now NRF will take an average of this because this is for 3 years. So this is my average. Okay, now based on my average, I'm going to divide it by the total number of students. Okay, I'm going to divide this number by total number of students, UG plus PG plus PhD students. So this number is around 20,000 as I said. So if this institution is a college, then it is good. As I said, the capex for a college has to cross around 20,000, 5,000. Well, if you're a university, this capex numbers is very, very low. I have a 20,000 capex, while the minimum is around 65, 66,000. So I need to increase this. Check if all the numbers in my balance sheet has to either go in for a capex or an opex, is what I need to take care. Because I'll quickly show for OPEX too. OPEX, as I said, has three parameters there. One is basically salaries, then maintenance, annual maintenance, seminars, conference, and workshop, which the institution do. Now I'm going to add these three. This is my total OPEX number for 3 years. I'm going to divide it by 3. Now this number I'm going to get again divided by the total number of students at the institution plus the total number of PhD students. So if you look at my OPEX numbers are close to around 1,24,000 per student, which is way, way, way low. So this numbers, as I said, is okay for a college. As I said, college spend around 70,000-80,000 and top one spend around 1,35,000 students per year. While for a university, this number has to be 5.5 lakhs. So while my number is 1,24,000. So these numbers have to be way, way, way higher than it what the numbers are currently given there. Okay. Same with publications too. As I said, if I'm looking at publications, so both combined, okay, I have roughly around, if you combine both, I have roughly around close to around, 1 second, I'm just going to make it black. Okay. So if you look at my publication numbers, I have the minimal publication number which I have there is around 1,302 for 3 years. Okay. Again, this number, as I said, for a college has to be at least 1,999 if my faculty numbers are 1,099. If you are a university, it has to be around 1,999 into 3 minimal is what I need to have. So I need to have at least 6,000 papers if I'm looking top 100 in Nirf is what I'm looking there. So this numbers has to be good enough to meet that. Okay. So I think the employment and the higher education numbers too, I'll quickly show it to you. Okay. Now if I go to employment numbers, again, as I said, I'll do it based on the intake. Okay. Now let me quickly show. Okay. Now my total intake for the first year, okay, plus I told you I'm going to take the lateral entry too. Okay. I'm going to do the lateral entry too. So my lateral entry students. And my lateral entry too. Okay. So these two combined, this is my total number of students at the institution, which is roughly around 22,000 per students. Okay. Now, what is my graduation rate? My graduation rate is going to be the total number of students who graduated in minimal stipulated time. Okay. So this is the total number of students who graduated, which is around 17,000. Okay. Likewise, if I look at the total number of students who are going for higher education, I'm going to add all this. Okay. So which is roughly around 4,000 students. And if I'm looking at students who are placed, this is the entire column. So the number of students who are placed is around 1 second. So, okay. Okay, so that's around number. 9,000 students is what I'm looking there. Okay. Now, if I do the percentages for these three, okay, my graduation rate is around 78%. As I said, every 1% matters. If you are looking at top 100, you need to have at least 80% graduation rate for a university. And if you're a college, you need to look at 85 too. Okay. Now, again, I'm looking at how many students went for higher education. So higher education is based on the students who pass out. So I have roughly around 24% students going for higher education. While if I look at my placement, I have roughly around 54% students. So this both number is around 75 for me combined. So this has to be close to my graduation rate. If my graduation is 78%, this cannot be less than 76, 77. Not 1% difference is acceptable. Anything beyond that is not. So these numbers have to be as close as possible to the graduation rate. I think this is quick overview. Again, if you see the median salary here, my median salary is around, I'll quickly show the formula too. I'm going to do the median. I think the median salary for this institution is quite good. So I'm going to quickly do it and show the median salary is around 3.6 lakhs, which is very good. So as I said, if you are a college, if you are having
Dr. Kumar Swami, can you please log in again? Unable to hear you.
कुमार जी आपकी आवाज बंद हो गई. हाँ. Hello, Kumar ji.
Hello, sir. I'm back, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Please come.
Sir, the voice
Yeah.
is not coming. Voice is not coming.
नहीं अब आ रहा है. Please.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Yes. You are here, please.
Okay.
Please continue.
Yes. Sir, I think that's it, sir. So that was a quick presentation of showing the breakup from my end. I am happy to take any questions from the colleges. Mahesh sir, any questions from any college principals?
बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस है कुमार जी.
हाँ.
मैं प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर भावना जी से विनती करता हूँ सबसे पहले उनको एक्सेस दिया जाता है. भावना मैडम प्लीज आपका क्या प्रश्न. भावना मैडम उपस्थित है या फिर महेश भट्ट साहब के चले. आपके हैंड्स रेज है तो IQSE SP यूनिवर्सिटी डॉक्टर गजानन जी.
Hello.
जी.
Good afternoon, sir. From Sardar Patel University.
जी.
हाँ, तो मेरा क्वेश्चन कुमार स्वामी जी से ये है कि
हाँ
आपने ये जो भी जो फिगर्स दिखाए हैं वो 3 साल के थे ना?
स्वामी जी कुमार जी.
हाँ सर 3 साल के थे सर. 3 साल के.
परसेंटेज भी मतलब जो नंबर 3 साल के थे ना?
Yes sir. Yes.
ओके थैंक यू.
પછી એમણે શું વાત કરી કે મને નહીં ખબર.
बता दो मैं चेयर
અમારે પતંગ લેપ બોલ્યા છે.
हेलो.
जी बोलो.
Hello.
जी, आप
I am
बोलो,
Dr.
सुन रहे हैं.
Gajanan from Dr. Gajanan from Gujarat University, sir. May I know how the NRF is identifying the women faculty as a head of the various institution? Because in the form we are not feeling anything like that. And how they are giving a grading for such kind of data? Hello.
जी सुनाई देता है. कुमार जी से मैं बोलता हूँ और कार्तिक जी भी उपस्थित है तो वो भी इसमें कुछ सॉल्यूशन दे सकते हैं या तो मार्गदर्शन किया जा सकता कार्तिक जी प्लीज. Hello.
I think Karthik sir is. I'm not able to see him also, sir. One second.
Please आप कह दीजिए.
Uh, Sir, one second, sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir? I lost you for a minute, sir. Hello. Sir, I would request the principal, sir, to come again, please, sir. I lost him for a minute. Principal, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I am talking from Gujarat University. There is in the presentation you talk about that women faculties having a designations like either they are deans,
Correct,
head
sir.
of the department, vice, they are getting special credit in the NRF ranking.
Correct, sir.
But in the data filling, we are not having such kind of option. So that how the NRF is taking the care of this.
Sir, see, NIRF also asks for we have asked in our data portal, sir. NIRF also asks for that number. How many women faculty are there who are in leadership positions? That word leadership is very clearly mentioned in the box, which is both given in Gsirf portal as well as NIRF portal, sir. Whatever number you enter there, that will be considered, sir.
But where in which sections it is asked in the GSRF also?
Sir, in the
there also. Can you show in the
sir,
GSRF?
in the GSRF last sheet, sir. GSRF last sheet it is asked. In the NIRF 2 it is asked in the last sheet, sir.
Dr. Kumaraswamy, possible for you to show this on screen, please?
Okay, sir. Let me quickly show it to him. One second, sir. One second, sir. I'll quickly show it to sir.
While you bring that up on the sheet, maybe request Professor Bhavna Mehta from MS Gujarat University. Professor Bhavna Mehta ji, are you here? Yeah, can you please ask your query?
Sir, actually, just tell him to unmute her mic. She can unmute her mic. She's asking to unmute her mic. Bhavna, you can unmute yourself.
इको आ रहा है. Somebody has to put up the mic.
Yeah, somebody somewhere has kicked the mic.
Every party.
Kumar, please mute yourself. Kumar, can everybody else also mute themselves? Is it better now? Yeah. Professor Dr. Bhavna Mehta, can you please unmute yourself? Can somebody in the administration please unmute Professor Dr. Bhavna Mehta?
कार्तिक जी, अगर भावना जी नहीं जुड़ सकते हैं तो आगे ले जाए IQAC SP यूनिवर्सिटी.
Yeah, please. I will ask you to send me a WhatsApp of her query.
प्रतिमा जी श्रीवास्तव भी दिख रहे हैं, तो वो भी.
जी, हेलो सर.
हाँ जी.
हाँ sir, I am Pratima Srivastava from Government Commerce College, Naroda. Sir, my question to Kumar sir is that when the DCS last date was at that time 5 January, so I was filling the form So in the form for as we are going first time for the next, so last 3 year data was pending. So year wise I have written type the number of intakes and then actual number of admission. In the first page it was year wise 2020, 21, 21, 22 and then 22 to 23. But in the next page it was throughout the year, individual year was taken. So in individual year, there was a summation of number of students who was admitted in the year which we have mentioned on the first page. Are you getting me, sir? First, in the first page, year-wise data was asked. So I have written there whatever the intake was there, 250 in our college and 300, and then number of actual students I have written there. But when we go to the next page, in particular year 2020-21, the number of admissions, there the total numbers which I have written in the 3 years, that total was coming. So is it correct?
Ma'am, it is correct, ma'am. It is correct. It is correct.
Because in that particular year, the number is different, sir. 2021 data. Hello, Kumar sir.
It is, ma'am. It is correct. It is correct.
Okay, so then in the next, succeeding year, what will happen? They are taking actually intake. We are taking. We are considering first year in students only now. In my college, commerce section is there only, BCom and MCom. Okay, so BCom and MCom, there is 2 sections to fill the data. So for BCom, there is 300 intake in the first year. So actually, we have to consider only the first year data, na? Am I right or not? Hello?
Ma'am, you're right. That is fine. Yes, ma'am, you're right. That is fine. First year intake only you need to enter year wise. While taking the number of students, you need to add them up and intake. That is completely fine. That is correct. Right?
Okay. So actually 2020-21, whatever the value is given there, and then 21 to 22, 22 to 23. So that 3 summation is actually appearing in the year 2021. Individual जब हम करते हैं तब की बात कर रहे हैं. तो okay है ये. I think there is some mistake in the software क्योंकि वो तो addition first year का ही हो रहा है.
No, ma'am, that is completely fine, ma'am. Ma'am, as I will reshare my Excel sheet to you. 1 second. Hold on a minute. Okay. This is a common confusion which I've been telling colleges. That is completely fine. So if you see here, okay, I'll take your college, just an example, okay. If you see my intakes, okay, I'll go up and show, okay. 21-22, okay. My 5-year intake was 650, okay. However, my actual number of students are 2,545. That doesn't mean this is only for that year. When you enter in that in the online portal too, it asks for the same pattern. While you enter year wise, okay, because this program is for 5 years, you will be giving 5 years intake. Now the 5-year intake here is 4,324 is my intake. Okay, I have admitted on 4,500 students 5-year UG program. I have admitted 2,545 students, which is completely fine. So okay, while the intake,
okay. Understood, sir. Means I have considering the
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Thank you.
Sir, I have to vary in this part.
Hello, Kumar.
Karthik sir, I have one query.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Correct. That's it, ma'am. Go ahead.
नहीं है.
Sorry.
Hello.
Hello. May I?
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Dr. Chinmay here from Medical College Bhavnagar. Actually, जो लिंक हमको दिया गया था GIRF का, उसमें ऐसा बोला था कि 15 तक भरना है, लेकिन वो लिंक खुल ही नहीं रहा है. मैंने मेल भी
जो लिंक नहीं भरा है, खुल रहा है मेरा. इसका आप ईमेल कीजिए सर. इसका ये लिंक ओपन नहीं हो रहा है. ये सब आप ईमेल कीजिए, उसको सॉल्व कर देंगे. ये रुकिए सर. हाँ.
लिंक इज नॉट ओपनिंग. इनफैक्ट इन मेल में भी वो दिख रहा है.
नो इश्यू सर.
लिंक इज नॉट ओपनिंग.
हाँ. नो इश्यू सर. So we'll resolve it. That you can keep it aside, sir.
Sure, thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Mr. Karthik, may I ask a question now since I'm unmuted finally? Can I ask? This is Professor Bhavna Mehta.
Hello.
Professor Bhavna Mehta ji, please go forward. Please ask your question.
Thank you. I'm so sorry for the technical hiccups. You kept asking me. I was online, but I was unable to speak as I was muted. I have three questions. One is related to IPR and patent data. I think Mr. Kumar said that, to be in top 100 or top 25, 20 patent granted and 40 published. That's what the figure I wrote. Is it for cumulative 3 years or you said per year? Because I got a little confused.
Cumulative years, ma'am. Cumulative, ma'am. Cumulative for 3 years.
So will it enter for 1 year, and for previous 2 years it will be taken from the system as?
Yes.
Ask one question. This is Dr. Siddheswar Rautrai from Indrasil University. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you are. Please go ahead.
Sir, during your presentation, you have given one statistics regarding rank 1 to 25, what will be the total number of sanctioned intake. So in that I had found in 50 to 75, the sanctioned intake is 6,533. In 75 to 100, it is 7,154. But sanctioned intake is more in the band of 75 to 100. But how they are getting less rank compared to 50 to 75? And the same case for faculty student ratio. 50 to 75, the FSR is 16, and 75 to 100, the FSR is 14. And as well as faculty with PhD, the percentage is 84.6%. For 50 to 75, for 25 to 50, it is 78.4%. So really, I am confused. What that?
Sir, there is no need to confuse on this. Sir, I'm getting an echo. Okay. So, sir, the numbers which are given there are straightforward. As I said, these numbers are hardbound numbers. In one area, college might score low in that bandwidth. On the other area, they might score high. While the spending might be high, while the the faculty student ratio might be low. So they will lose a little points here. They will gain a little points there. So that varies. So don't worry on the exact why. How can they be so high even if the numbers are so low or something like that? So even if the intake is low, they will gain somewhere else, while the number of PhD students might be a little higher there. Likewise, in the college, the OPEX, CAPEX might be quite higher. Publications will be quite higher. So because of that, they will get an overall good rank than these colleges too in the last bandwidth. The last bandwidth is very, very competitive, sir. Hence, whoever is in that last bandwidth, that is extremely difficult to get. So if your institution is crossing the bandwidth of 75, then you will be much stable. The numbers do remain stable there. But if you are in the bandwidth of 75 to 100, that is the most volatile bandwidth. So to make it into 75 to 100 is the most difficult part. You need to have, to even feature there, you need to have at least 2,000 students if you get featured there.
Thank you.
Okay, namaskar, sir. Hello. Namaskar, sir. हेलो
सर प्लीज गो अहेड सर.
हाँ, मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
हाँ प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
ओके, थैंक यू सर. गवर्नमेंट बीएड कॉलेज वांसदा से मैं बात कर रहा हूँ. सर, बीएड कॉलेज को एनआईआरएफ में रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाना है? यस सर.
महेश सर, आप लेना चाहते हैं सर ये?
सर नहीं करना है.
ओके, थैंक यू सर.
पहले भी हम ये बात कर चुके हैं कि जीएसआईआरएफ तक ठीक है, एनआईआरएफ में एजुकेशन की कॉलेजों को अभी एक्सेस नहीं है.
ओके, थैंक यू सर. जीआरएफ कंप्लीट हो चुका है सर.
ओके.
हाँ, थैंक यू सर.
हेलो सर, शिवशा पॉलिटेक्निक सुरेंद्र नगर से बीना गजर बोल रही हूँ. सर मेरा भी यही सेम क्वेश्चन है कि हम पॉलिटेक्निक्स वाले हैं, डिप्लोमा कॉलेजेस, तो उसको एनआईआरएफ में लॉगिन करना है कि नहीं करना है? और अभी तक हमें जीएसआईआरएफ का भी कुछ लॉगिन क्रेडेंशियल नहीं मिला हुआ है.
मैम हम आपका मेथोडोलॉजी डिफरेंट है मैम, इसलिए हम एनआरएफ में आपका कैटेगरी नहीं है। सो हम अभी जी सिर्फ के लिए जो कर रहे हैं, इसलिए आपका मेथोडोलॉजी पहले फाइनलाइज करके आपको लिंक भेज देंगे मैम। हमने बोला था इस वीक तक भेज देंगे, हम भेज देंगे मैम इस वीक आपको।
ठीक है, थैंक यू सर।
Hello.
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 Hello. Select
हाँ
faculty from NIRF 2023 में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, तो क्या करना चाहिए?
Sir, what do you mean by select from faculty from 2023?
Select faculty from NIRF में जो हम करते हैं, तो
हाँ सर, वो एनआईआरएफ को ईमेल कीजिए सर, एनआईआरएफ को ईमेल कीजिए सर, ये प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है ऐसा।
ओके ओके।
Hello. Hello.
सर एज पर माय व्यू सर वो एनआरएफ में इश्यू ऐसा होता है कि उसमें फैकल्टी डेटा आपको लॉगिन में डालना होता है। तो जो पास्ट जिसने एनआरएफ में नहीं लिया होगा पार्टिसिपेट, उसका डेटा फैच नहीं किया जाएगा। हम जो जीसिफ में जैसी डेटा शीट भेजते हैं, वही मैन्युअल एंट्री ऑल ऑफ फैकल्टी की एनआरएफ पोर्टल में करनी पड़ती है। एज पर माय व्यू अभी दोनों पे काम कर रहे हैं, तो वो आपको पिछली बार 22 में अप्लाई 23 में नहीं किया होगा तो नहीं मिलेगा आपको।
Hello.
हेलो या
अपने
Hello.
कुमार जी।
हाँ, साइंस कॉलेज हिम्मतनगर। हेलो
सर बताइए सर, करेक्ट सर।
कुमार जी, ये
हाँ सर,
जो
बोलिए बोलिए।
पिछली बार जिसने किया था,
हाँ सर, उनका ही आएगा सर, अगले जो नहीं किए थे उसको नहीं भरना पड़ता है सर एनआईआरएफ पोर्टल में।
ठीक है, लेकिन फैकल्टी किसी की बड़ी है तो क्या करें?
सर बड़ी है तो भी फिर भी एंट्री करना पड़ता है सर। मैंने इंस्टीट्यूशंस को देखा है जो 1000 फैकल्टी है वो भी एंट्री करते हैं सर।
ठीक है,
इसका ऑप्शन नहीं है सर एनआईआरएफ में अभी तक।
जी।
हाँ सर, अगर
इसका मतलब है कि अगर नहीं आती है फैकल्टी का लिस्ट, तो हमें ऐड करना है सभी को।
हाँ सर, मैन्युअली ऐड करना है सर, मैन्युअली ऐड।
जी वाला नहीं सर,
ओके।
ऐड करिए वाला।
हेलो
हेलो सर, आई एम फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट पॉलिटेक्निक। अभी एक मैडम ने क्वेश्चन किया था, माय क्वेश्चन इज सेम कि हमें क्रेडेंशियल और लॉगिन आईडी पासवर्ड कब मिलेगा?
मैम आप डिप्लोमा कॉलेज है मैडम?
यस
मैम डिप्लोमा आई टोल्ड यू इस वीक तक मिल जाएगा मैडम, रुकिए पहले एनआईआरएफ का मेन कॉलेजेस का क्लोज करते हैं। डिप्लोमा को हम जीसिफ में लेंगे, जो आपको आज इस वीक तक मिल जाएगा मैडम।
हेलो सर, एनआईआरएफ में अब रजिस्ट्रेशन करवा सकते हैं?
सर अभी नहीं करवा सकते सर, डेडलाइन एक वीक है।
हाँ, डेडलाइन कब थी सर?
दिसंबर में था सर, दिसंबर में था।
दिसंबर में था। ओके ओके सर।
हेलो सर। हेलो
जी, कहो प्लीज।
यस मैडम बोलिए।
आई एम डॉक्टर सेजल देसाई फ्रॉम अमरोली कॉलेज। माय क्वेश्चन इज दैट इन
आपकी आवाज बंद हो गई बीच में मैडम।
now
यस प्लीज।
I'm audible?
यस प्लीज।
Sir, in placement you said that benchmark is more than 3 lakh per year, but in our college placement is good. Many reputed companies also come, but they offer only 2 lakh rupees maximum for BCom student. The package is 2 lakh rupees. We know the benchmark, but we cannot improve it. This is the fact that 2 lakh per annum. This package is offered to the student. So how can we write 3 lakh per median salary?
No ma'am, I am not saying write 3 lakh ma'am. I said this is the benchmark number. Whatever numbers are there, as I said, you need to enter that actual numbers only. But keep this as a benchmark for next year. You might not make it to NIRF top 100 this year.
For BCom students, they are not offering that. From the last either 15,000 or 16,000 for freshers.
Ma'am, if you're a good college, you need to push beyond that, ma'am. I mean, there is no other way. If you're looking at top 100 NIRF, and then you need to start pushing that with your employers.
So this is the scenario for many colleges. Not in us college,
Ma'am, but the top in my 100 NIRF top 100 में है, उनका 3 lakh है ना, madam. If you are looking at to be, you cannot.
में वहाँ पे ऑफर होती है, लेकिन मैंने तो NTS से देख रही हूँ.
Sir, I am from MM Arts College, Rajkot.
हाँ मैडम.
हेलो.
हाँ बोलिए बोलिए मैडम.
आर्ट्स कॉलेज. हाँ जी, ये सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है. हमने एनआरएफ पहली दफा हम एनआरएफ में ज्वाइंट हुए हैं और डेटा हमने 3 जनवरी को वो सेंड कर दिया है, ऑनलाइन फॉर्म सबमिट कर दिया है. क्या हम उस फॉर्म में कोई चेंज कर सकते हैं अभी? कोई जो डेटा है वो.
मैम आप ईमेल कीजिए, हम एडिट ऑप्शन दे देंगे. मैम ईमेल कीजिए, हम एडिट ऑप्शन दे देंगे.
ओके, थैंक यू सर.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Hello. Sir, this is Dr. Guru Prakash Singh from Commerce College, Wadali, sir. Sir, I have a question related to PhD students, sir. Sir, our principal, sir, has recognized as a PhD supervisor by the HNGU University, sir. And last year, under him, 5 students has completed PhD, sir. So, sir, can we note down that data in our college?
No, sir. No, I have made this clear from last 5-6 meetings too. It cannot be until your college is giving a degree, PhD degree. Only then you can take, because the university will claim that PhD student. The student will get a PhD from the university and not from the college. So the credit will go to the university and not the guide. He is a recognized guide. He will also be recognized as a faculty member under a university, but not for a college. You can recognize him as a faculty member, but not as someone who can grant PhD in your own college.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello, Kumar ji.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Dr. Jinal. Yeah, I'm Dr. Jinal from Panjshir University. Actually, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में किस से इंटीग्रेटेड कॉलेजेस आई हैं, तो NIRF में है कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट कॉलेजेस ही डाल सकते हैं और हमने वही डाला है. बट जो अभी डिप्लोमा कॉलेजेस का GSIRF का है, उसमें भी हमने कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट कॉलेजेस ही डाली है. एक्चुअली हमारी 9 एफिलिएटेड कॉलेजेस में है, तो वो सही है ना? सिर्फ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट कॉलेजेस ही डालनी है ना?
Yes, ma'am. Only constituent colleges, ma'am. Only constituent colleges.
हाँ, और एक क्वेश्चन भी था कि जैसे प्लेसमेंट का डेटा है कि इंटीग्रेटेड कॉलेजेस है, उन लोगों का हेलो.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am. Placement डेटा का?
हाँ, उसमें क्या है कि जैसे स्टूडेंट हमने कम दिए होंगे क्योंकि उस टाइम पे हमारे अंडर में नहीं थी कॉलेजेस, बट जैसे इंटीग्रेशन हो गया 2021 से, तो हमारे ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट्स बढ़ते हैं. बट NIRF में तो वो ऑटो जनरेटेड होता है, तो उसको हम नहीं ले सकते हैं. बट GSIRF में तो हम वो ले सकते हैं ना?
Yes, ma'am. You can take. Constituent colleges का you can take, ma'am. No issues.
Okay, but NIRF में नहीं आएगा.
नहीं, ma'am. नहीं. हाँ.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir. Am I audible, sir?
बोलिए. Sir.
I am Dr. J.K. Parmar from Baudin Science College, Junagadh. Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello. Yes. Please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
Haji. My question is that in case of NIRF, there is no particular column for lateral entry. While in case of GSIRF, we are asked to fill the same data.
Sir, NIRF also there, sir. Please check it, sir. Sir, please check it, sir. NIRF also has a column called lateral entry.
I have checked many times. Sir,
No, it is there, sir. If you have entered a 2-year degree or a 1-year degree, it won't come. But if you have entered a 5-year degree, 4-year degree, it will come, sir.
in case of college category, I think there is some problem is there.
Sir, if you are a college, it's 5-year degree, it will come, sir.
No, we are 3-year regular basic.
It should come, sir. Please recheck that again once.
I have submitted my data, so for that, what to do?
Now you can only request NIRF that to make the corrections if they ask for any queries, sir.
So I have to communicate with a registered mail ID only.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Another question is there. In case of NIRF, student who receive full tuition fee. So we are in Gujarat. Our girl student do not matter whether it is a category, general category or open. They receive tuition fee reimbursement from state government because we are not charged tuition fee for girl student. But the total
amount is given as scholarship. If it is reflecting here,
total figure which we cannot fill, they counted itself in case of NIR. So total is not matched.
Correct, sir. Yeah, sir. Whatever, if you give 1 rupee as scholarship also, it has to be accounted in your balance sheet. Otherwise, how will you prove it? Only if it is accounted in your balance sheet, only you can give it, sir.
Sir, I think we all are from Gujarat colleges. All knows government and Gandhinet College of Gujarat, they do not charge tuition fee particularly for girl student. So what to do? We have to count it or not?
Sir, as of now, no, sir, you cannot, because if it doesn't reflect in charging it. No, I agree, sir, but if that has to be reflected as a deficit balance in your balance sheet, no, sir. If you are not charging only as tuition fee, the amount spent on them, that you can show it in the balance sheet as scholarships. Yeah, they will be spending some resources in the university, right? Those students who will be there. So the tuition fee can go in a scholarship, full 100% scholarship, not charged. Some has to reflect in the balance sheet, no, sir.
I think I need more clarity from the higher authorities. Because last year it is clearly discussed that we have to mention such data that girl students are.
Sir, you are a government college, right, sir? Sir, you are a government college, right, sir?
Yes.
So
yes.
From your institution fund, are you giving scholarship to any students from your institution fund?
No.
No, sir,
Actually,
नहीं दे
government
सकते,
colleges are not eligible. Sir, government colleges are not eligible to give any kind of such a scholarship from institution fund, but the students who are studying in government colleges are entitled from the government to various portals.
Correct, sir. Yes, sir. So as I said, the scholarship given from the government, that number of students who are getting scholarship can go in that column of students getting scholarship